My child, there is a reason this message found you today. There is a reason your eyes stopped here at this exact moment. What happened recently was far more important than anyone realizes. Your person was sitting with their brother during a late-night conversation, and at first it seemed like an ordinary moment. The atmosphere was relaxed, the walls were quiet, and the conversation drifted from one topic to another. But then your name appeared. Not by accident. Not randomly. It arrived in the middle of a discussion that neither of them expected would become unforgettable. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip this part, because the sentence that was spoken next changed the energy of everything around them. Your person had been carrying many thoughts inside their heart. Questions. Doubts. Memories. Emotions they could not fully explain. Yet when your name entered the conversation, their expression changed immediately. Their brother noticed it. The silence became noticeable. The atmosphere shifted. And then something surprising happened. Their brother looked directly at them and spoke about your life in a way nobody expected. What he said was not based on rumors. It was not based on assumptions. It was based on something he had quietly observed from a distance. And the moment those words left his mouth, your person could not respond right away. They simply sat there. Listening. Thinking. Feeling something they had been trying to ignore for a very long time. There is a detail here that nobody saw coming. Their brother did not begin by talking about your appearance. He did not begin by talking about circumstances. Instead, he started speaking about the journey of your life. He said something that instantly captured your person's attention. He said that people often misunderstand you because they only see small pieces of your story. They see moments. They see fragments. But they never see the full picture. He said that your strength has always been hidden behind your kindness, and that is why so many people underestimate what you have survived. The moment those words were spoken, your person became unusually quiet. Because deep down, they knew it was true. They remembered moments when you remained strong even when nobody was applauding you. They remembered times when you carried burdens without asking for recognition. And suddenly, memories began returning to them one after another. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. This is where the conversation became impossible to forget. Their brother continued speaking, and each sentence seemed to reveal something your person had never fully understood before. Then came the statement that completely transformed the atmosphere. Their brother looked at your person and said, "The most powerful thing about them is not what they have achieved. It is the way they keep moving forward after everything they have been through." The room fell silent. Your person looked away for a moment because those words touched a place inside them they rarely allow anyone to see. They realized that while many people notice achievements, very few notice resilience. Very few notice the courage it takes to keep believing when life becomes uncertain. And that is exactly what their brother noticed about you. Something huge is waiting for you, so do not skip what comes next. Because after speaking about your life, their brother shifted the conversation towards something even more unexpected. Something your person never anticipated hearing. He began talking about your smile. At first, your person laughed lightly, assuming the conversation was becoming casual. But their brother was completely serious. He said there was something unusual about your smile. Not because it was perfect. Not because it was flawless. But because it carried something deeper. He explained that your smile feels genuine in a world where so many people wear masks. He said that even when you are carrying your own struggles, there is still a light that appears whenever you smile. And according to him, that light affects people more than you realize. Your person immediately stopped laughing. They knew exactly what he meant. Because they had experienced it themselves. They had seen moments when your smile appeared unexpectedly and changed the entire mood of a situation. Moments that seemed small at the time suddenly became impossible to forget. Stay till the end. Do not skip. Because the next revelation surprised even your person's brother. Their brother admitted something unexpected. He said that every time your name comes up, people describe different qualities about you. Some mention your kindness. Others mention your determination. Others mention your heart. But there is one thing that remains consistent. People remember how they felt after interacting with you. Think about that for a moment. They do not simply remember conversations. They remember feelings. They remember encouragement. They remember hope. They remember moments that stayed with them long after the interaction ended. And when their brother said this, your person became completely silent. Because they realized that your impact extends further than you know. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay until the final moment because the most important part of this conversation had not even happened yet. Then came a pause. A long pause. The kind of pause that happens when someone is preparing to say something meaningful. Their brother looked directly at your person and asked a simple question. A question that changed everything. He asked, "Have you ever wondered why you still think about them?" The room became quiet. Your person had no immediate answer. Because the truth was more complicated than they wanted to admit. They had tried to explain it logically. They had tried to move past certain emotions. They had tried to convince themselves that time would provide clarity. Yet here they were, still listening to someone talk about you with complete attention. Their brother noticed the silence and smiled. Then he delivered a sentence that nobody expected. He said, "Maybe the reason you cannot forget them is because they were never meant to be forgotten." The moment those words landed, something shifted. Your person looked down. Not because they disagreed. But because those words echoed inside them with unusual force. Suddenly, memories returned. Conversations. Moments. Small details. Things they thought they had left behind. Everything seemed to rush back at once. And for the first time in a long time, they stopped resisting those memories. They allowed themselves to feel them. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. What happened next made the conversation unforgettable. Their brother continued speaking, but now his tone had changed. It became calmer. More serious. He said that people spend too much time looking for perfect situations when they should be paying attention to meaningful people. He explained that opportunities come and go, circumstances change, and plans shift unexpectedly. But genuine connections are rare. Extremely rare. He told your person that sometimes the most valuable people enter your life quietly, without dramatic announcements, without grand introductions. And because they arrive quietly, people often fail to recognize their importance until much later. When your person heard that, they immediately thought about you. They did not say it aloud. They did not have to. The thought appeared automatically. And that is where this story reaches its most powerful moment. Their brother looked directly at your person one final time and said something that neither of them will ever forget. He said, "One day, everyone will understand why they mattered so much. The only question is whether you will realize it before it is too late to appreciate it." The silence that followed was unforgettable. No jokes. No distractions. No changing the subject. Just silence. Because deep down, your person understood exactly what those words meant. They understood that some people leave an impression that time cannot erase. They understood that certain smiles continue shining in memory long after the moment ends. And most importantly, they understood that your story is far more significant than anyone originally believed. Stay till the end, because this is only the beginning. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next part reveals what your person did immediately after this conversation ended. A strange silence followed after that conversation ended. Your person tried to act normal. They tried to laugh, change the subject, and move forward. But something inside them would not let them. The words their brother spoke kept replaying again and again. Not once. Not twice. Over and over. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip this part. What happened next was something your person never expected. After everyone settled down, after the conversation seemed finished, their brother suddenly brought up your name one more time. It was unexpected. It was random. Yet it felt important. Their brother looked at them and said, "You know what surprises me the most?" Your person turned and listened carefully. Then came a statement that immediately captured every bit of their attention. Their brother said, "No matter what happens, whenever your eyes change, it is usually because someone mentioned them." The room became quiet again. Your person smiled awkwardly, trying to dismiss it, but deep down they knew there was truth hidden inside those words. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. The conversation became deeper than anyone expected. Their brother explained that he had been observing things for much longer than your person realized. He said that every time your name appeared in a conversation, there was always a noticeable shift. The energy changed. The attention changed. Even the way your person spoke changed. At first, your person tried to deny it. They laughed and shook their head. But their brother refused to back down. He said, "I am not talking about what you say. I am talking about what happens before you speak." Those words landed differently. Because some truths are impossible to argue with. Their brother had noticed something nobody else had noticed. He had seen the reaction before the words arrived. He had seen the emotion before the explanation. And that is why he was so certain. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The next part of the story changed everything. Then their brother said something that nobody saw coming. He said, "Most people spend years searching for someone who makes them feel understood. But when I hear you talk about them, it sounds like you already found that person." The moment those words were spoken, your person became completely silent. No response. No argument. No joke. Just silence. Because deep down, they were asking themselves a question they had been avoiding for a very long time. What if their brother was right? What if the connection they kept trying to explain was much deeper than they originally believed? Suddenly, memories began appearing in their mind. Small moments. Tiny conversations. Forgotten details. Things they once considered ordinary now felt important. Stay till the end. Do not skip. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened next surprised even their brother. For the first time that entire night, your person began talking openly. Not dramatically. Not emotionally. Just honestly. They started remembering moments involving you. Moments that had remained hidden in the background of their mind. They talked about conversations that stayed with them longer than expected. They talked about things you said that continued echoing long after the conversation ended. And while speaking, they realized something unexpected. The memories were not fading. They were becoming stronger. Their brother listened carefully and smiled because he already knew what was happening. He knew that sometimes people do not realize how much someone means to them until they begin speaking about them out loud. Then came the sentence that changed the entire direction of the conversation. Their brother leaned forward and said, "Maybe the reason they keep appearing in your thoughts is because they left a mark that was never supposed to disappear." Those words hit differently. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Your person immediately looked away. Not because they disagreed, but because those words felt too accurate. Suddenly they understood why certain memories remained vivid while others disappeared. They understood why certain names continued returning while others faded away. They understood why your smile still appeared in their mind unexpectedly. And for the first time, they stopped fighting that realization. But the biggest revelation of the night had not happened yet. Their brother paused and then shared something nobody expected. He admitted that he had formed his own opinion about you long ago. Not through stories. Not through assumptions. Through observation. He said that every time he heard people mention you, there was always one common theme. Respect. Genuine respect. He explained that some people attract attention, but very few attract admiration. According to him, you belonged to the second category. People respected the way you handled challenges. They respected the way you treated others. They respected the way you carried yourself even when life became difficult. The moment your person heard this, they became unusually emotional inside, although they did not show it outwardly. Because hearing someone else recognize what they had secretly admired about you made everything feel more real. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The most unforgettable moment was still ahead. Their brother then asked one final question. A question that seemed simple but carried enormous weight. He asked, what if the reason this connection never disappears is because it was meant to teach you something important? Your person froze. They had never considered it from that perspective before. What if every memory had a purpose? What if every reminder was trying to show them something? What if every moment involving you was leading them toward an understanding they had not yet reached? Suddenly, everything felt different. The night was becoming quieter. The conversation was slowing down. Yet the meaning behind it was becoming stronger. Their brother stood up, looked back one last time, and delivered a final statement that remained in your person's mind long after the conversation ended. He said, one day you will realize that some people enter your life and leave lessons. Others enter your life and leave memories. But a rare few leave both. The room became silent. Completely silent. Because deep down, your person knew exactly who he was talking about. They did not need clarification. They did not need explanation. The message was already understood. And as the night finally came to an end, your person found themselves sitting alone, replaying every word. Not because they were forced to. Because they wanted to. Because something about that conversation felt important. Something about it felt unfinished. Something about it felt like the beginning of a realization rather than the end of a discussion. Stay till the end of this journey because something huge is waiting for you. What your person discovered after this night was even more shocking than the conversation itself. And when that discovery happened, nothing felt the same again. Long after the conversation ended, something unexpected happened. The words spoken by your person's brother refused to disappear. They followed your person into the next day. Into quiet moments. Into ordinary routines. Into places where they thought they would finally stop thinking about everything that had been said. But instead of fading away, the message became stronger. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip this part. What happened next became one of the most surprising moments in this entire story. Your person woke up believing the conversation was over. Yet the very first thing that crossed their mind that morning was you. Not because they forced themselves to think about you. Not because someone mentioned your name. It happened naturally. Instantly. As if the conversation from the night before had unlocked something hidden deep inside them. The more they tried to focus on other things, the more unexpected reminders appeared. A familiar phrase. A familiar song. A familiar memory. Small things that seemed insignificant suddenly carried meaning. At first, your person ignored it. They told themselves it was coincidence. But the reminders kept appearing. Again and again. And with every reminder came the memory of what their brother had said about your life and your smile. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. Because what your person realized next completely changed the way they saw you. For the first time in a long time, they stopped focusing on what was missing and started focusing on what had always been there. They remembered the way you carried yourself during difficult moments. They remembered the calm strength that seemed to appear whenever life became challenging. They remembered conversations that felt ordinary at the time but now seemed incredibly important. Suddenly, everything looked different. They realized they had been paying attention to the wrong things. They had been searching for dramatic signs while overlooking meaningful details. And the more they thought about it, the more one truth became impossible to ignore. You had left a deeper impression on their heart than they ever admitted. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Then came the moment that nobody saw coming. While replaying the conversation with their brother, one particular sentence returned to them with unusual force. People remember how they feel around them. That sentence echoed inside their mind over and over. Not because it was complicated. Because it was true. Your person began remembering how they felt whenever they interacted with you. Not just what was said. Not just what happened. But how they felt. And that realization surprised them. Because feelings are harder to forget than facts. Much harder. Facts fade. Emotions remain. And suddenly they understood why your memory continued appearing when they least expected it. Hours passed. Yet the thoughts remained. The memories remained. The feeling remained. Something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip. Because the next realization was even more powerful. Your person started asking themselves questions they had avoided for a very long time. Why did certain memories involving you still feel so alive? Why did your smile continue appearing in their thoughts when countless other memories had disappeared? Why did conversations involving you seem more meaningful now than they did before? The answers did not arrive immediately. But the questions themselves were enough to change everything. Then something happened that completely caught them off guard. They found themselves smiling while remembering one of your happiest moments. Nobody else was around. There was no reason for it. Yet the smile appeared naturally. And the second it happened, they remembered exactly what their brother had said. He had spoken about your smile as if it carried a light people never forgot. At the time, your person thought he was exaggerating. Now they were no longer sure. Because even after all this time, simply remembering your smile had changed their mood. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The biggest revelation was still ahead. Later that day, your person found themselves looking at old conversations, old memories, and old moments from a completely different perspective. Instead of seeing isolated events, they began seeing a pattern. A pattern they had missed before. Every meaningful memory seemed connected by one thing. Authenticity. Nothing felt forced. Nothing felt artificial. The connection always felt real. And that realization made it impossible to dismiss everything as coincidence. Suddenly, the conversation with their brother felt less like a casual discussion and more like a wake-up call. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. Because the next moment became unforgettable. As evening arrived, your person remembered one final thing their brother had said. The sentence about rare people leaving both lessons and memories. That line returned unexpectedly and refused to leave. The more they thought about it, the more powerful it became. Because lessons change who we are. Memories remind us who we were. And according to their brother, you had done both. That realization hit harder than anything else. It forced your person to acknowledge something they had never fully admitted. You mattered more than they allowed themselves to believe. The night grew quieter. The distractions disappeared. And in that silence, clarity began arriving. Not all at once. Slowly. Piece by piece. Your person started recognizing the value of things they once overlooked. They started appreciating moments they once considered ordinary. Most importantly, they started seeing you through a different lens. A clearer lens. A more honest lens. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. What happened next became the turning point of everything. Before the day ended, your person sat alone for a moment and reflected on everything that had happened since that conversation. The words. The memories. The reminders. The questions. The realizations. And then a single thought appeared. A thought so powerful it stopped them completely. What if their brother had noticed something they themselves had been unable to see? What if the truth had been standing in front of them all along? The moment that thought arrived, everything changed. Because once a person begins seeing the truth, it becomes impossible to unsee it. And that is exactly where this story takes an unexpected turn. The conversation about your life and your smile was never just a conversation. It was the beginning of a realization. A realization that continued growing long after the words were spoken. A realization that would soon lead your person toward a discovery they never expected to make. Stay till the end of this journey because something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the shocking realization that finally made your person understand why your presence has remained impossible to forget. The turning point arrived when your person stopped running from their thoughts and finally listened to them. Until this moment, they had been treating every reminder of you as something temporary. Something that would eventually disappear. But after everything their brother had said, that explanation no longer felt convincing. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip this part. What your person discovered next became one of the most important realizations of their entire journey. The more they reflected on your life, the more they understood why their brother had spoken with such certainty. He was not impressed by surface details. He was talking about something deeper. He was talking about the way you carried yourself through experiences that could have changed anyone. He was talking about your ability to remain genuine in situations where most people would have become distant or guarded. And suddenly, your person began seeing a version of you they had never fully appreciated before. The realization grew stronger throughout the day. Every memory connected to another memory. Every detail connected to another detail. It felt as if scattered pieces were finally forming a complete picture. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. Because the next moment completely surprised your person. They remembered a conversation from long ago. At the time it seemed ordinary. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing unforgettable happened. Yet now, looking back, they realized it had stayed in their memory for a reason. It was one of those moments where your kindness appeared naturally without expecting anything in return. And when that memory returned, another one followed. Then another. Then another. Suddenly, your person was no longer remembering isolated events. They were remembering a pattern of who you truly are. That is when their brother's words about your smile returned again. Not the smile itself, but what it represented. He had said that your smile carried something genuine. something people rarely encounter. At first, your person thought those words were simply a compliment. Now they understood it was much more than that. Their brother was talking about authenticity. He was talking about a light that comes from being true to yourself. And once your person understood that, they began realizing why your smile remained unforgettable. It was not because of appearance. It was because of what people felt when they saw it. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The most powerful part of the story is still ahead. Then came a quiet evening unlike any other. Your person was alone with their thoughts, and for the first time, they stopped trying to distract themselves. No noise. No interruptions. Just reflection. And in that silence, a truth emerged. They realized that every time someone spoke positively about you, it felt natural. Nobody seemed forced. Nobody seemed uncertain. Whether it was their brother or someone else, the message was always similar. People respected you. They appreciated you. They remembered you. And that consistency became impossible to ignore. Something huge is waiting for you. Do not skip. Because the next realization changed everything. Your person began wondering why certain people leave such a lasting impact. Why do some individuals fade into memory while others remain unforgettable? Why do some names disappear while others continue returning unexpectedly? The answer arrived slowly. It was not because of grand gestures. It was not because of perfect timing. It was because of significance. Some people leave an emotional imprint that time cannot easily erase. And for the first time, your person allowed themselves to admit that you had done exactly that. The realization felt both surprising and obvious at the same time. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Then something unexpected happened. Your person remembered the final look their brother gave them before ending that conversation. At the time, it seemed ordinary. Now it felt meaningful. There was a quiet confidence behind it. Almost as if their brother already knew where this realization would lead. Almost as if he understood something long before your person did. And that thought created a new question. What else had their brother noticed that had gone unnoticed? The answer would arrive sooner than expected. As the hours passed, your person found themselves replaying one particular sentence more than any other. Maybe they were never meant to be forgotten. The more they thought about it, the more powerful it became. Because forgetting usually happens naturally. It requires no effort. But remembering requires significance. And despite everything, despite time, despite distance, despite distractions, your memory remained. That fact alone spoke louder than any explanation. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. Because what happened next became impossible to ignore. A sudden moment of clarity appeared. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just clear. Your person realized that they had spent too much time analyzing circumstances and not enough time paying attention to meaning. They had focused on details while overlooking the bigger picture. And the bigger picture was simple. Your presence had influenced them more than they admitted. Your story had inspired them more than they realized. Your smile had stayed with them longer than they expected. Once that truth surfaced, everything else began making sense. The night eventually became quiet again. But this time the silence felt different. It felt peaceful. Because confusion was beginning to fade. Understanding was beginning to grow. Your person was no longer questioning whether the conversation with their brother mattered. They knew it mattered. They knew it had changed the way they saw things. More importantly, they knew it had changed the way they saw you. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter reveals the unexpected discovery that convinced your person that their brother had been right all along, and when that discovery happened, it left them completely speechless.